Up next on Veteran on the Move, Navy and Gulf War veteran Alton Franco created a platform to book tour guides.
Welcome to Veteran on the Move. If you're a veteran in transition, an entrepreneur wannabe, or someone still stuck in that job trying to escape, this podcast is dedicated to your success. And now, your host, Joe Crane.
The top 7 paths to freedom is my free gift to you for listening to the show, featuring 7 great ways for a veteran to take their first step into the exciting world of entrepreneurship. To receive your free gift, go to veteranonthemove.com, or if you're listening on a mobile device, you can text the word veteran to 38470. Alton Franco's greatest passion is to bring healing to veterans, both homeless or not, that have been through traumatic, stressful events. Dealing with PTSD and a traumatic brain injury throughout his life, Alton never pursued a college degree. Alton has since successfully failed in most of his ventures, which has given him the knowledge to move forward with his most recent venture, Tag Your Guide. Tag is the tour concierge, giving your providers a place to book live tour guides, which saves them time, gives them faster payments, and a simple interactive way to engage with travelers. Tag offers tour providers an online platform listing tours that are available in one place that makes it easier for them to get bookings with faster payments and without needing a referral from a hotel concierge. All right, we're here talking with Alton Franco. His business, new business idea here is called Tag Your Guide. But before we get to talking about that and business and entrepreneurship, Alton, take us back and tell us what you did in the Navy.
Aloha, Joel. Thank you. Thanks for having us here on the call. My career in the Navy was short and bittersweet. I went into the Navy at 19, and I felt that it was pretty simple but challenging at times, being that I was really fit during high school and played lots of sports. So it was really simple as far as keeping up with the procedures and exercising and the demands of being a part of the military. Mm-hmm. I went to my A school, graduated. I was sent to my first duty station in Norfolk, Virginia. That's where I learned how to wax floors and worked on helicopters. It's a pretty fun career. I stayed there for a brief 3-4 months in duty station HSL 32. And we got stationed to a destroyer called the USS Scott, where we headed out to the Gulf. We were there and ported for after 3 months of being in regatta. And that's where my new life started the past 27 years. I got permission then to attend our New Year's ship party, where then I got released off the ship, went to the phones to say my hellos and goodbyes to my family in Hawaii. Got into a taxi with 3 of my shipmates, one who was from my Hilo squadron. And 15 minutes later, boom, that was the end of the career. We're all part of a suicide crash where 3 other shipmates were in a taxi heading back to the ship.
Hey, Alton, let me ask you a quick question.
Sorry.
You said a suicide crash.
Yes.
So the guy crashed intentionally?
Absolutely.
The driver?
2 drivers, yes.
Oh, my.
Yes, and, it was an odd situation. You have that internal, that intuition, they call it. And being in the back of the taxi in this small little cars, the taxi driver, for some odd reason, said he would take us on a scenic tour. And the scenic tour was a dirt road with a brick wall on the right side of us. And there was nothing to see but dirt. And he kept on talking on his walkie-talkie. And I asked him a few times to slow down. Going 65, 70 miles an hour on a dirt road is not cool.
Yeah. And this was in Egypt, right?
Yes, this was in Egypt. Absolutely. And at the time, he tended to slow down 2 or 3 times and then sped back up. And, it was getting, that dark time. And just so happened coming around, up this hill around the corner, I remember it. like it was yesterday. I saw headlights coming straight for us, and being in the middle in the back seat, I tried to grab the steering wheel from the driver, attempted to, but it was too late. That's when we went head on.
Oh my! And this was coordinated with the other driver. That's incredible.
Very, yeah. In the early '90s, this type of attempt was something new. As it evolved, to bombing and trying to blow vehicles up, and hurting our military in different ways.
Yeah. Now, as far as the timing's concerned, it had Desert Shield and Desert Storm kicked off? Was it just recently over with? What was the timing on that?
This is the very beginning. Yes.
Okay.
All four.
Okay. So we were probably still either in the beginnings of Desert Shield, or yes, maybe the bombings had just started around that time frame.
Absolutely.
Okay. So
yes.
I remember talking to you about this previously, what you had sent me. In the aftermath, you woke up on the sidewalk or in the street, right? You kind of came to.
Yes. After the accident, I woke up and found myself looking face to face with a face plastered against the glass next to my face, which was the other taxi driver. I woke up, opened my eyes, and that was my first vision of life. I pulled myself off of the vehicle and looked at the taxi that was on, where the 3 shipmates were involved in, and saw that everyone was out. Everyone looked like they were dead. And I came around and looked at my shipmate and my partner that was with my helo squadron, and he was out as well as the other 2 gentlemen that was in the vehicle. I then heard some noises, so I walked back around, and my shipmate was starting to move and wake up. And we found that he could not get out of the vehicle. So that's when I jumped back into the vehicle and tried to get his leg out. And adrenaline kicks in, and this is a different environment, and they train you to react fast here in the military. And it just a reaction. I lift the seat up and got his leg out and pulled him out. And we realized that we needed to help each other to go get help because we couldn't let our shipmates, get taken away. And we made that split decision, and we helped each other. And we walked about 2 miles, and we found some lights in the hotel. And just so happened, this hotel that we were walking to was where our ship was having their New Year's celebration. And the people in the lobby escorted us to where our ship's party was, and we opened the doors, and everything stopped and started. That's when they took us up front, and that's when all that adrenaline started wearing off, and that's where the pain kicked in. They medevaced us to the ship, to a medical ship with the fleet. And I don't remember the name of the medical ship. And then they medevaced me to Tabuk, Saudi Arabia, and 2 other shipmates to Tabuk, Saudi Arabia Hospital, where I spent some time there, and then got flown to the ship back to the USS Scott after a few months. And that's where we discovered that I was, at that time, I was suicidal and very violent, and they discovered that I really needed some help, and I was very, very in a lot of pain. I was in a lot of pain at that time. And we've had those code reds, and being up in the helo in the helo port upstairs on the ship, it was hard to get down, not being on crutches and with braces all over my body. I was left up top a couple times during our code reds for the chemicals, for chemical warfare out there, and got taken down by a friend that, he came back up and got me twice. They realized that I could not be there and flew me to Naples, Italy, where I did physical and mental therapy. And when I say mental therapy, I mean group therapy. At that time, PTSD was something new, and they never knew the effects or how to help heal a soldier with PTSD at that time. So it was something new. So after my time there, I spent about a year and a half in Naples, Italy, and then got flown back to NAS Norfolk, where they discovered that the way I see it was I was no use to the military. I was unemployable. I was injured mentally and physically, and I could not fulfill my career according to the military. I wanted to become an air traffic controller, hence why I went in to become a captain, a plane captain, and a pilot. And my career ended there.
Yeah. So can you take us through a little bit about what your transition out of the Navy was like and what you ended up doing? Absolutely.
Thank you. My transition was very confusing, very hard to understand as a 20-year-old, being left alone. You know, spending time in Tabuk, Saudi Arabia, and going to Naples, Italy for rehab was an experience in itself. After being sent to Norfolk, Virginia, and being told that I was no longer needed, was even more of a stressor in my life. You know, as a young man, being tossed to the side and saying you're no good is, you know, after an accident and tragedy like that is not really good for a young man, 20 years old.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, I see it all the time. Even, you know, today, you know, obviously we've got a lot of veterans with heavy combat experience and very visible wounds of war, dealing with a lot. You know, and the thing about today is there's a lot more awareness and a lot more programs and money and systems put behind helping guys deal with this kind of thing. You know, in the 90-91 timeframe, there wasn't nearly as much support or as attention given to it. After all, Desert Storm and Desert Shield were very short. It was a short burst, and then it was over, and then everything went back to normal. You know, with the current conflict we've been in for 15 years essentially. So, as you were out of the Navy, what did you end up doing initially? Did you go back to school and you start working somewhere?
Well, you know, we talk about transition, and I have to say, I'm still in transition, in a way. Mm-hmm. You know, I've tried everything to help my brain injury and PTSD. You know, from living 2 years in the Albuquerque VA Medical Center in the STAR program, which is one of the top programs for PTSD in the U.S. Doing weekly and monthly counseling, you know, with groups and psychologists. You know, I've done neurobrain training with NeuroGym, with John Assaraf and Dr. Mark Waldman. I've added daily meditations, float tanks, cryotherapy, acupuncture, and so many different paths of healing. And, you know, now this way of healing has become a lifestyle and a change of lifestyle for myself and for my family. I've also come to use a product called NewCalm from Life Sciences with Dr. Holloway. And that also works on the autonomic nervous system with tones and music and other modalities, which has really helped me stay in this alpha frame of mind. I've spent thousands of dollars on myself trying to heal myself and take myself to that Alton of the past before the military. And it's been really hard because I found that no matter how much you spend and if you are not committed, you always go back to that fight or flight frame of mind. It's been really hard.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Now I have an opportunity, a very good opportunity, thanks to you and Dr. Lipov. You had on another podcast. I'm not quite sure what podcast that was, but I discovered with your interview that Dr. Lipov, who practices the stellate ganglion block, the SGB, And since then, I've connected with Dr. Lipov, thanks to your assistance, and the PTSIHope.com and the Global PTSI Foundation out of Chicago. And they've offered me an opportunity to start a new chapter in my life.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, after Dr. Lipov was on episode 162, if anybody listening wants to go back and check that one out, talking about SGB, stellate ganglion block. You reached out to me after that episode released and put you guys in touch. And next thing you know, this episode won't air until sometime in June. But as you and I are sitting here talking, you're only a couple of days away from flying to Chicago and actually having the first procedure done for the stellate ganglion block. So we are looking forward to hearing that and wishing you the best and success. Alton, I do want to take a quick break here. We're about the midpoint, so I'm going to take a quick break and hit the stop button for a sponsorship break, and then we'll be right back to continue on. Have you joined the Veteran on the Move Facebook group? I personally invite every guest that I have on the podcast to join the group. So the Veteran on the Move Facebook group is a great way to connect with previous podcast guests. Our Facebook group will keep you in touch with other veterans that are transitioning to entrepreneurship, and you will also get great updates and free guides on the people, programs, and resources that will help you in your transition to entrepreneurship. All right, we're back. We're talking with Alton Franco. And Alton, the first half of this podcast episode, you're talking about some serious traumatic brain injury and PTSD experience that you had over in Egypt during Desert Shield, Desert Storm, really with a taxi driver suicide mission. So phenomenal story. I mean, just incredible. Very unfortunate, but since then you've been struggling with a lot, and we're going to talk more about that at the end. But I wanted to shift to what initially brought you to the Veteran on the Move podcast, and that is entrepreneurship. And understand you have a new app and a new business called Tag Your Guide. So tell us about Tag Your Guide and where the idea came from, and what it's all about.
All right. Thank you. Yes, that's a great question. Thank you for asking that. Well, being in Hawaii, I would put photos on social media of me taking friends and family around the island in my Jeep. And Marjorie, who is my business partner and partner in life, said to me one day, "Why don't you charge for those tours? You could make some money." And she called me Tour Guide Franco.
Tour Guide Franco.
Tour Guide Franco, yes. And so the light bulb went on, and that's where Marjorie and I started the Maui Adventure private Jeep tours. We expanded slowly on the island, added some vehicles, and did marketing and built the website and had a great time. But then we discovered how broken and old the tour industry is with its booking and payment systems, not just in Hawaii, but around the world. Most of the tour guides, the tour companies, small to medium businesses and tour guides go out of business because of the way the system is built. And we had to figure out how we could eliminate majority of our overhead so we could actually survive and continue growing our business. And so what we decided to do was rent our tour guides and not use our personal Jeep tours, but actually have our tour guides drive the rent-a-cars that the tourists already rented. And that became a really big hit. So we started eliminating our Jeep tours from our website because our tour guides, our rental of our tour guides was a big hit. And we started connecting our tour guides with our guests that called or got booked by our concierge. And so they would actually communicate live with our guests instead of just having us book a tour with our guests and discover what they would like to do and see on the island of Maui. And our tour guides would build an itinerary around what they would want and then meet them and drive their families in their rent-a-car around the island. giving them the tour of their choice. We then discovered, how easy it was to do that, and that we eliminated 96% of our overhead, which was amazing. We W-9 our tour guides. We eliminated our Jeep tours, the insurance costs, fuel, maintenance, and moved forward with renting our tour guides. Then we wanted to see if we could make this product easier and faster and more beneficial for tour guides. So we asked each other, why can't we make our product like Airbnb or Uber, but just for tour guides? Mm-hmm. And that's where we came up with Tag Your Guide, the tour concierge in your hand.
Dude, that's really cool, man. This is like one of those awesome stories, maybe one of those Shark Tank stories where it just, you're already into something and you just find a way to streamline it, make it better. I mean, if there's a great business model out there right now, like you said, Airbnb and Uber, it's like all you got to do is say, well, it's the Uber for tour guys, or it's the Airbnb for tour guys. Everybody instantly gets it. They understand. Oh yeah, I got it.
Absolutely. Yes.
So where are you at right now? I mean, is Tag Your Guide up and running as an app? Where are you at in the building of the business?
We are in a pre-revenue stage. We paused the product build for certain reasons. Of course, one, there's been injuries to some of my colleagues here, and so we had to pause building. And then transition in life, learning the business and trying to evolve in a completely different space in business is very challenging. The tour industry is a huge opportunity. Yearly, there's 19.8 million tours that is done yearly. We can go into the industry and the business model. As mentioned, we are pre-revenue startup and in the development stages. But the tour guide industry is a $6 billion global industry. And the U.S. market right now is at $4 billion, just dealing with tour guides alone, not with the tours and activities involved. So it's a really large.
So you understand the tour guide industry, you're a part of it, you're running tour guides, but what you've had to learn and adapt and overcome is, how do I design an app? How do I build an app? How do I find the money to pay the guys to build the app? Because I'm assuming you're not a app programmer yourself.
Absolutely not. Far from it.
Yeah. It's a special skill.
It is. It's a very special skill. Yes. And, being in the industry, as you mentioned, and working from the ground floor, we've learned a lot of the problems and we've come to solve a lot of the problems in the industry. And if you'd like, I'd like to really put that out, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll just give 3 of the main problems and resolutions that we've discovered to be the primary challenges in the industry for tour guides. And number 1, the tour guides do not have an online presence. And the average payment comes in approximately 30 days for a tour guide, or even for a tour company in the industry, getting booked by concierge or booking agents. They depend on referrals from concierge, friends, and booking agents. They don't have the technology aspect to go out and get themselves booked. It's something that a lot of us have to learn, that skill and knowledge to go out and market ourselves. So it costs a lot of money. And, getting paid 30 days after your services have been done, it's very hard to have that residual income coming in. So basically what we've done to solve these problems is we give the tour guides an online presence. We offer them fast payments. And what I mean by fast payments, it's like being an Uber driver. You do a drive, they click in, they click out, the drive is done, and the driver gets paid the next day. Just like a tour guide. Fast payments, and we give them direct access to the consumer by providing a live booking platform that offers live communications with tour guides. The Tag has a platform-based business model. And we offer tour guides a service to promote the tours within our platform for free. So they get free advertising and free marketing. We provide all of these services and we bring the consumer to them. We offer them that online presence as discussed. Only when they get booked is when they get charged a percentage fee for getting booked. And that's when they get charged. So a tour guide has an opportunity to upload their tours and guides in the platform, all for free. And when they get booked, they get a fee for service. Really simple. So no out-of-pocket expense for any of the tour guides around the world. So basically what TAG is the tour concierge giving tour providers a place to book live tour guides, which can save them time, can offer them faster payments, and a simple interactive way to engage with travelers. TAG offers tour providers an online platform that lists tours that are available in one place that makes it easy for them to get bookings, that provides faster payments, and they won't need referrals from concierge or booking agent. That's TAG.
That's awesome. I mean, I get it completely. I can see it. So as far as the app is concerned, I guess it's all based around the success of it is really hinged all on the app, right? The functionality of the app.
The success of the app, yes, the functionality of the app, and of course, go to market.
Which, yeah, you got to get it out there, but you got to get do you have the app up and running yet?
No, the app is not up and running. We are now in the funding stages. We do have a small, I wouldn't say live prototype, an envision prototype, and we are awaiting our paperwork to be signed by one of our potential investors. Hence why we moved to Texas from Hawaii. And so we're waiting for the paperwork to come in so we can move forward with building the product and launching our product.
That's awesome. So what do you envision here? What do you think are the next couple of steps? Or do you think you're about to get some money and then it's hire the developers? Do you have all that figured out, or are you waiting for this next step to happen and then decide what's going to happen after that?
Believe it or not, we have a full team. We have our development team. We have our marketing. We have everyone set in place. What we're waiting on is the finances. And once this funding comes in, we'll move forward. But we are ready to go.
And how long do you think it'll be before you have the minimum viable product, the MVP, that you can actually start either testing or putting out there in the market?
To finish the product, it will take approximately 6 to 8 weeks to finish our product and to launch. So we expect an answer and some final paperwork in about 2 weeks, and we'll start from there.
And you don't have to answer this one because I know when we talk direct figures and money, people get antsy or whatever. But do you have an idea of what it's going to cost to build, whether it's just the MVP or build out the actual app?
Yes, to do an MVP, we are seeking the $12,000 that is needed to finish the product and go to market with that. We do have 2 specific areas that we want to approach, and one is the Nevis Islands. Hence, there's a good source of tourism that's done in the area, and there's no real competition out there. So it would be a very nice small location for us to launch. And also working with and fulfilling our partnerships with ITMI, who is one of the largest tour guide associations in the world. We have come to partner with ITMI and Ted Bravos out of San Francisco, and we'll be launching out of New York as well, and beta testing in New York with approximately 100 to 200 tour guides in that area.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, hey, Alton, unfortunately, we're getting close to the end of our time here.
Thank you.
So I do want to. We are going to do kind of a special thing after you get done with your treatment of the stellate ganglion block. So we're going to have you back on the show and talk about. Hopefully, we'll be talking about the success of the stellate ganglion block and what it's done for you and helped you with. So look for that to come up. Maybe just a few weeks after this episode comes out, and maybe even Dr. Lipov can join us again, where we can talk a little bit more about that. But in addition to that, good luck with getting your app and your MVP built out. I want to hear about the future success of the Tag Your Guide. Sounds like an awesome idea. I totally get it. I think you're onto something, and we look forward to seeing your future success.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And if you don't mind, everyone can visit us at www.tagyourguide.com. And they can also follow us and like us at Tag Your Guide on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter.
Yes, I'm glad you did the shout out for you, because I usually ask, hey, how can we find you? What's your website? So I appreciate you doing that. So, all right, Alton, thanks for sharing your experiences. Heavy stuff. I know it's tough talking about things like that, so I can certainly relate how tough it is to get through that sometimes. So I appreciate you doing that and sharing that with us. And then I really look forward to hearing not only about what happens with the stellate ganglion block procedure, but also what happens with Tag Your Guide.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having us. We really appreciate it.
You bet. And is Marjorie still there?
Yes, Marjorie is here.
All right, Marjorie was going to come on to talk about it, because after all, it was her idea, right?
Yeah.
All right, Marjorie, say hi to us just so we got you on there.
Aloha.
Aloha. All right, Marjorie, thanks. I appreciate it. And Alton, as far as these two veterans, we are Oscar Mike. As you can tell from listening to the Veteran on the Move podcast, interviews are a great way to tell your story and spread the word about your business. If you would like to get booked as a podcast guest, I recommend Interview Valet. You can check out Interview Valet at veteranonthemove.com/valet. Be sure to check out Thrive15.com, the world's premier online education platform that helps entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, and intrapreneurs learn how to start or grow a successful business. Start your free 30-day membership by going to Thrive15.com and use the promo code VETERAN. Thank you for listening to Veteran on the Move, your pathfinder to freedom. If you like the show, leave us a review on iTunes. Reviews are always greatly appreciated. So until next time, this veteran is Oscar Mike.